It's no secret that houses have gotten expensive. And as a kid from the early 2000s, I'd always expected I'd just buy one. But even if I had the money, I wouldn't want to pay $1 million for a house built in 1964. So in this video, me and my brother are building the ultimate tiny house. Not for $50,000, not for $20,000, but for $6,000. And for me and my brother, our whole process started when he picked up an old trailer. You've got to be kidding me.
It was $500, I had to.
Now, as it sits, the trailer's 13 feet long, but our house is going to be 16 feet. So we're going to add some metal to make it longer.
Wow.
Now we got a pressure washer where we can get a good coat of paint on it. Dude, that trailer looks awesome now. Ready to start building the base?
Oh yeah.
So in this house, we want a full-size bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, and living room. With all these demands, we're going to use 2x4s to make the base as wide as we legally can. It'll give us about 8 feet. The next step is for us to go ahead and put foam in all these little holes right here. Foam on the floor is really important for two reasons. One, to keep out moisture, and two, for insulation. That's why we made these such a tight fit. Then we put some plastic down for an additional moisture barrier. And finally, our subfloor. All said and done, the base of this tiny home is going to give us 130 square feet to work with. And that's about the size of the blue bus we renovated, which is good, but to get more square footage, we're going to build the walls up high enough to have 2 stories in one section. At 9 feet tall, the first wall seemed ginormous, but the second wall was 10.5 feet tall. Now time for our last full-size wall. The next day we added a section on our front wall to make it a bit higher for that second story I was talking about. Then we could start framing out our roof. Dude, that was incredible. You did the whole thing by yourself. I'm on the camera, so I can't help. After the roof part itself was installed, we went around the perimeter of the house to make an awesome overhang. And in my opinion, this is the key to making a house look amazing. All right, time to put plywood on this roof. You may have noticed earlier in the video when we put up a wall that really wasn't much of a wall. The reason for that giant opening is because we needed a little bit more room to fit our full-size bathroom. So we made an extension. Next we put on the Tyvek. This is basically waterproof paper that acts as a final barrier between the water and the inside. For our siding, we just went with 4x8 foot wooden panels because these are pretty cheap and really easy to put up. So the only way we can afford to put such big windows in our house is to make them ourselves. So we got several sheets of custom cut glass and we're gonna start building frames around them. Now we've never really made windows before, so the way we're going about this is probably okay. To start, we're taking treated 2x4s and cutting a notch for the glass to sit in. Then we cut them all into pieces to make frames that will hold our giant panels. Then we slid the panel down and it would stick up about 3/4 of an inch past the top.
Easy, easy. God, this is gonna look awesome.
That way we could put the cap on, screw it all together, and it would never come apart. Now, if we wanted to buy windows like this, it would cost thousands of dollars. But since we made them ourselves, the total for the glass and the wood was under $400.
There we go. Oh, like a glove, dude. Okay, let me go inside and secure it.
Remember when we were going around the perimeter of the roof with wood? Well, now it's time to put up the soffit.
How's that look right there?
Oh my god. Dude, we can't do it yet.
What?
We gotta run wire.
Do we need can lights?
So what we're doing here is running wire through our soffit, where later we can install exterior can lights. It'll make the house look like $1 million.
Wow, this is gonna look beautiful.
Dude, I know.
How's it looking?
Even though the windows we added earlier are huge, they still won't let any light into the upstairs master bedroom. So last minute we decided to give that room some windows. Oh, like the glove, dude. The house was starting to look pretty good, but up close you can see there's a lot of cracks, screws, nails. The corners are all messed up, and it all needs covered up. So in the shop, me and Colby got to work on our next step. Now it's time for trim. How's that?
Fine.
Now, you might not have guessed it, but Colby and I saved hundreds of dollars here. We could have bought pre-made PVC trim for this, but because we used so much, it would have cost $1,500. Whereas our trim just cost $160 and some extra time. So the trim is done. Believe it or not, it took us 2 days to do it. We ended up using 3,000 nails and like 10 tubes of liquid nail to get all this trim on. The house was starting to look great, but if you notice, the roof is still pretty bare. And before we could put anything on the top, we have to first put fascia on the front. To do this, we got a roll of aluminum and actually cut and bent it ourselves. Not only does this make the finish look amazing, but it also prevents water from ever touching the wood. And with the aluminum fascia installed, it was finally time to put on the roof. I also made sure to screw it down really good because it will be moving down the highway at some point. Then we installed the last bit of aluminum on the back of the house. I want this thing looking just as good up close as it does far away, so I covered thousands of nail holes with Bondo. And because we didn't want to mess it up, shout out to our dad for painting the aluminum.
It's coming together, guys. Alright everybody, this is our tiny house. As of right now, it's an empty shell, but man, it looks good. All in all, we're a little over $3,000 in this, which is just insane. And here's the first look at the inside. Obviously there's nothing in here, but look how high the ceilings are. We're going to do a crazy job making this interior just as beautiful as the outside in the next video. So stay tuned for the next video, and thank you for watching.